Hey y'all, I'm back with another gem. Today we going in with an acrylic fill-in. So let's get right into it. So this is how we're looking, over 5 weeks old. This set was done on February 3rd and she came in on March 12th for her fill-in. We got one missing and one broken one, so I'm just starting by taking the broken one down with my 4X bit because we're gonna go ahead and just soak that off to put a new tip on. Then I'm just adding this clip on with some acetone, like a cotton ball soaked in acetone. Those clips you can find in my Amazon storefront. Link is down below. And almost everything I use, I get a lot of stuff from Amazon, so it'll be in the storefront. You could check that out. And now we're just going in and cleaning up the nails, the other nails, to start prepping. We're gonna still using my 4X bit. We are taking down the top. We're gonna take the top coat off and all the gel polish that we used. We're gonna take down the apex because we're gonna create a new apex with the acrylic we'll add. And we're just taking off all of the lifting that's there. So you don't want to touch the actual nail bed. You want to just stay on the acrylic part and move quickly and with no pressure. You don't want to add any pressure to the nail because you don't want the nail bed to get hot. So, and you want to continuously move throughout the nail. You don't want to stay in one spot. So you'll see, like, I'll take some gel polish off and then I'll go back to the lifting part, and then I'll take some apex and then take some more gel and then go back to the lifting part. And you can see I'm constantly like putting my finger there because I'm kind of just wiping the dust off. It gets a lot of dust in the way, so I can't really see where the lifting is and all that. So I just like to continuously wipe the dust off. And also I just like to feel the nail bed. If I feel like I've been working in one spot too long, I try to feel the nail bed to see if the client is feeling any heat, because sometimes, you know, they don't like to tell you, they just like to sit through it, but I don't want that for them. So I try to just manage that and make sure it's not getting hot. If I do, then either I'll just work in a different spot or I'll just wait a second and then I'll go back in. And we're gonna do this on all 10 fingers. The lifting part is like the white stuff. You see a lot of the white stuff. If it's super lifted, like this set there wasn't much lifting, but if it's super lifted, then you could use like your tweezers. I would thin it out first with the drill bit, and then, because when it's too thick, the tweezers are hard to cut it and it can cause more lifting than what's there. So thin it out and then use your tweezers to get a lot of the off, and then go in with the remaining and lift it up with the drill bit. I feel like this is the most time consuming part in a fill. Once we're done with that, then we go in and push all the cuticles back, and then we're just going in with I like to use a medium grit sanding band, and we're just going in slightly and removing all the shine and oils off of the natural nail beds. And yeah, going back to what I said, that is just the most time consuming part. Like, people think that fills are supposed to be quick, but they're really not. Like, the amount of time it takes to prep and really drill everything down is a lot, and just making sure you got everything, because you want absolutely no lifting behind, because that could cause a greenie. It could cause moisture and water to get trapped under it, and it could, we checking on this nail here, removing all that excess with the cuticle pusher. Once that's done, push them cuticles back, go in with the sanding band. And you just don't want no moisture in there, because like I said, it could cause the mold, the greenies to get in there, and that's not good. That's not good. So make sure you get all that lifting up. Take your time. Here I'm just using my cuticle bit, like a little triangle, bit to just clean up the cuticles and get all of the cuticle that is still stuck on the nail bed off, because if you lay acrylic on the cuticle, the dry skin that's still stuck on the nail bed, it could cause lifting, and we don't want that. So just going in and running over that. Once we're done that, brushing all the dust off and going in with our we gotta fix the nails first. So this is when I add the tips, and then I just cut them to the length as the other fingers, shape them, blend the tip in real quick, and then we'll be ready to dehydrate with our swipe. I like to go in with Swipe by Young Nails and a brush, and I just try not to do too much because the swipe can break the tips, the plastic tips. So I like to keep it more towards the cuticle area, not fully down the nail bed or the tips, and only use what is needed. Then I just clean my space up, get ready for acrylic. And I like to use Young Nails primer, and I like to use No Lift Nails primer. It just depends honestly on the client. Some clients work differently. So for her, I like to use Young Nails. We went in with that. Now I'm going in with Young Nails Speed Clear Acrylic and my monomer to just put that clear base down. Very thin clear base, especially when we're doing a fill, because we don't want it to take up any of the new apex that we're going to build, and we don't want the clear to cover over the nude that we have to add. This acrylic color that I'm using is Nude Panther by Not Polished. Love it, love it, love it. This is literally my favorite nude. I feel like it goes good on everybody. And I'm using a size 8 brush. I believe this brush is probably from my local nail supply, but I can get them off Amazon too, and they're fine. Honestly, you could just crimp them yourself by placing it under something heavy and just letting it sit, and it'll do its thing. And here we are, just creating an apex and sealing in the cuticles, tapping into the cuticles, and then tapping downward. Got to get the side walls as well, and blending it into the rest of the nail. And sometimes with fills, they always lose their shape, so I like to add this bead at the tip of it just to create that square shape again and kind of work with that. And when I do that, sometimes I have to do it a lot more on more sets, and basically I feel like that's doing a full set. So sometimes I will end up charging the client a full set price, because that's more of a rebalance rather than just a quick like fill-in. A fill-in is literally, we just have to redo the apex. I feel like a rebalance, you gotta create like the whole shape again and add more acrylic literally all throughout the nail. So that's literally a full set. And that's how it should. Honestly, I've been thinking of just charging full set for no matter what fill-in price, because the amount of work is, if not equal to, is more than a full set, in my opinion. Then just tidying up my space here, using a napkin to clean out the rest of my monomer in my jar, throwing that in my trash, bringing this paper closer so that we can get into the shaping. These are the bits that I'm using. I like to use this cone ceramic drill bit. It's a fine drill bit, that's the red color. And at first I just like to go in and get the side walls and the sides of the tip, go underneath to create that square shape on both sides. Then I just go around the nail, like on top of the nail. I go around, and then you can kind of see, because the file makes like those grainy spots, you can see the scratches on top of the nail. So when there's like a dent in the nail, it'll still look smooth. Like how it looks right now, just the application, it'll still look smooth in that dent. It won't look all scratched up. And that's how I know, okay, I need to file this area more with my hand file until it, like, you know, is equal, until the entire nail is looking all scratched up from my nail file. That's how I know that it is all even. And then I'll move on to the next one. And then that's when I will come back in with my drill bit. And I like to do one hand at a time, just in case the client is on their phone or just super busy with their hands. It just takes more time. It takes longer to keep asking the client to switch their hands. And I don't want to keep asking them. So I'm going to just do everything I need to do with this hand and then switch it with the other hand. And this is the file I'm using, ceramic cone drill bit. I think it's called a cone. It looks like a cone. That's why I'm saying it. Fine. And I'm just going in and sealing the cuticles, cleaning up the cuticles, and then bringing it down the nail bed to just get rid of those scratches. Everything is already even for the most part, unless I need to really fix like the apex or anything, any type of large bumps or anything, then I'll go in and do that. But for the most part, my application is pretty good to the point I don't need that. And then I go in with this 4X bit again and just cleaning up the tip and going sideways like that, and then going underneath so that it's not as thick underneath. And this is how I bring down the length too, if it needs to be brought down. And then I will go back in with my hand file just to make sure that tip is even. And I'll go up and down. I won't go sideways with the hand file. You'll see how I do it. I'll go up and down, and I feel like that just gets such a more crisp shape. And this is how we looking. So fresh and so clean. And then I'm just checking to make sure both hands are even. If anything's uneven, I like to go in and fix it. Like this thumb was a little bit longer, so I'll go in and fix that because I'm OCD. And once everything is perfect, I'll ask the client if everything is okay with them. If they say yes, and for the most part it is, but I just like to have reinsurance because, you know, being a beginner, I didn't like how people would go home and then say something. So I always ask, like, it's just a habit now. I always ask, okay, is everything okay? Then she went ahead, go wash her hands, going in with a base coat because I don't like to buff. I feel like it's a waste of time. And even when you buff, if you try to do French on top of that, them lines are not going to be crisp. So I like to always add a base coat because I feel like it makes the nails so much smoother and you get such a more crisp line when doing French or any type of design. And the base coat I do use is sticky, so I just went in with acetone after and brushed it off to get rid of that sticky, because if you try to do that French on top of that sticky, it will smear and slide. So don't do that. Then we just going in with this baby pink Frenchies. I don't really have a method to the French. I just go straight in and do it. I don't know what to tell you about that. I'm not sure. curing those for 60 seconds. You could do 30, honestly. 30 is fine too. But while I work on the other hand, they don't got nothing else to do, so might as well do 60. Then we going in with this flower. I'm just painting the petals and then cure that, and then we doing like a hot pink on top and just drawing some lines to give it that type of effect, and adding the little stones in the middle. This is a very cute and simple spring design. Nothing much to it, so it's not much that I can explain. We just going in using this dotting tool to create the details, and using my long art brush to create some lines, adding a little more detail. And I like to use this glue is actually on my Amazon storefront as well, and then I just use the edge of my long line brush, the other end of it, because it has like a point to it, and I put glue on it, and then I pick up the stones with the glue that's on there. And that was just real quick, so I didn't have to get my wax pen out, and now we're just going in with some top coat on everything. And then especially when I'm doing French, I like to go back in after the top coat is cured and file the tip like how I did when I was shaping the nails, just to clean it up, because when using gel, the gel can mess up the shape so much. So here I am, and with French, I think I just counted like 10 on each finger, and it just cleans up the shape and makes it look so much better. Dust it all off, add some cuticle oil, and she is back in action. Here's the final look. It came out so pretty, such a spring vibe, and I will see y'all in my next video.